welcome back to the ARelaxedGal Beauty channel. I'm Leah, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my 3 tips for transitioning your hair care routine to fall. As I'm recording this video, we're just a few days away from the official start of fall, and while that means nothing here in the state of Florida because the weather does not really change, it does mean something in other parts of the country. I know because I spent pretty much most of my life in the state of North Carolina, and there we would experience all 4 seasons, including fall. When I started my healthy hair journey, I was still living in North Carolina, and of course there you experience all 4 seasons. So as time went on and I started experiencing the seasons during my hair journey, I soon realized that when the seasons changed, so did my hair care routine. And this includes the products that I used and also how I used the products. All of those need to change and shift so that my hair could adapt to the cooler or warmer weather depending on what season was upcoming. What I found is that there were some products that worked really well for my hair and my hair really benefited from more in the summer than they did in the cooler weather of the fall. It took some time, some trial and error, but eventually I figured out 3 things that I could do to help my hair transition from summer weather to cooler weather and still thrive in the fall. So the first thing that I figured out, my first tip for transitioning your hair care routine to fall, is to amp up the moisture. What I found is that in the fall, hair that is naturally dry like mine or hair that is chemically treated like mine tends to dry out a lot quicker in the fall than it does in the summer. And it essentially came down to just the weather is just so much colder, the air is so much drier that it was drying out my hair. I also had some instances where the older parts of my hair would be drying out quicker, particularly when I would wear my hair down. And the older parts of my hair is the ends. So if I'm wearing my hair down, it's all exposed and it's drying out because of the dry air, but then also it would be rubbing up against sweaters and scarves, which would just rob it and suck out the moisture that was in my ends and just cause them to dry out. Because of this, it just made using moisture-based products so much more important for my hair to really thrive in the fall. So things that I like to make sure that I do during the fall to keep my hair very moisturized, very hydrated, is to do deep conditioning treatments, which I do already all year round on a weekly basis, but in the fall I make sure to do more often than not using heat with my deep conditioning treatment. So I'll put the deep conditioner on and I might sit under my hooded dryer, or I'll use a deep conditioning cap such as the Hothead deep conditioning cap. So I've talked about that in some other videos. I'll link those down below. Some other things that I would do to amp up the moisture is to do hot oil treatments more often. I do them occasionally in the summer, but I try to do them more once the weather gets cooler. I would also moisturize and seal my hair more often during the week. So that might mean every day or every other day versus doing it a couple times a week like I might do in the summer. And then also I use moisture-based shampoos. Essentially that means looking for shampoos that are sulfate-free and to say that they're hydrating or moisturizing. The second tip that I came up with is to use heavier hair products. I, for one, would have told you in the past, the less hair products you use, the better your hair is. But I've learned as I've been going through my healthy hair journey that that's not always the case. And when the weather gets cooler, sometimes using thicker products is better. At least I found that to be the case for my hair. So when fall starts rolling around, I start pushing back those lighter moisturizers, lighter oils to the back of my bathroom cabinet and start pulling for the thicker ones. Basically what I found is that by using thicker moisturizers and thicker oils, the hydration and moisture just stays in and on my hair longer than when I use the lighter products. When it comes to thicker moisturizers that I've used during the fall, some of the ones that I've used in the past have been the Cantu Argan Oil Leave-In Conditioner. I've also used the Eden Body Works Coconut Shea Leave-In Conditioner, and one that I'm using right now that I actually haven't used during the fall, but I probably will be using this fall because I just discovered it and I loved it, is this from TGIN, and it's their Green Tea Super Moist Leave-In Conditioner. So I actually did a whole video in this that I'll link down below so you can see why I really like it. When it comes to oils, I don't go so thick as like an olive oil or Jamaican black castor oil for my hair. I might use JBCO or Jamaican black castor oil on my scalp, but I won't use it on my hair because it's just way too thick. I go somewhere a little more in the middle because I use like lighter oils during the summer, but then during the fall I'll go to like something that's more in the middle for me, like a sunflower oil. So the third thing that I discovered when it comes to transitioning your hair care routine to fall, or my third tip, is to protect your ends. Now, I hinted at this when I talked about amping up the moisture for your hair in my first tip. So yeah, in the fall I start breaking out sweaters, and I would break out scarves. And when it comes to sweaters and scarves, a lot of times they're made of material that my hair would catch on really easily. So I would find at the end of the day that I would have hair strands like stuck all up and down like the top back part of my sweater or on my shoulders. I would find that I would have like hair caught in my scarves. I also would find that because my hair would be brushing against that material, particularly if I wore it like multiple days in a row, that my ends would be completely dried out. I would start seeing some breakage. I would see split ends. It was just not doing anything good for my hair. So to combat this, I started wearing my hair up more. And by wearing my hair up more, I was tucking away my ends. I was keeping them protected and away from the dry air, away from the clothes, the sweaters, the scarves that were just causing damage to it. When I would wear my hair up, I would wear buns. I might even do ponytails. I would also sometimes do some kind of braided styles where I might do like a French braid and then tuck up my ends underneath, or do some kind of braided ponytail. Some other things that can be done to protect your ends that I don't particularly do are to wear a weave or to wear a wig. One thing that I did start doing this past, actually it was in the winter time, but I probably will do some in the fall once it actually starts getting a little bit cooler here in Florida, is to wear this thing called a slap cap. And this is like a little beanie here. See this? And it's lined with satin so that when your hair's in it, it's rubbing up against the satin, so it's nice and smooth. It's not sucking a bunch of moisture out of your hair, and your hair's of course running against smooth material, so you're not experiencing the roughness that you do when it's rubbing up against like your scarves or your sweaters, that then causes breakage, dryness, and split ends. So that's it. It's just 3 things, like I said, 3 things that I do to transition my hair care routine from summer to fall. All I do is I make sure to amp up the moisture, I use thicker hair products, and I make sure my ends are always protected. What are your tips for fall? What do you do with your hair care routine when it comes to the fall? What kind of specific products do you prefer to use when fall rolls around? I'd love to know, so leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video, if you learned anything from this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can go ahead and share it with people that you know. And one more thing before you go ahead and click to my next video, if you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to be a subscriber and become a part of this. So go ahead and hit the red button down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.